This is the working of the random number generator app on the emulator. When an input is given to set the range, each time the generate button is clicked, random numbers are getting generated. Let us see how to develop and deploy this application on Android Studio. This is the activity main.xml file and its design page. When we go to the code page, it shows constraint layout is being used, so which means we can click and drag the widgets from the palette in order to create our design. We start off by clicking and dragging the text view and renaming it as random number generator, and we are adding style components like bold, italics, and increasing the text size. And then we are clicking and dragging another text view and renaming it as set range and giving it a similar set of styles. And then we are clicking and dragging a plain text, and then we are giving it a hint attribute like input any number. And then we are clicking and dragging another text view, and then we are removing all of the contents in it so that we can use it to display our result. And we are adding some style components to it. And then we add a button and renaming it as generate and adding some style components to it. This is the activity main.xml code without constraints. Then we start giving constraints for all of the widgets that we have clicked and dragged. We are renaming the IDs for the plain text as well as the result, generate button, so that it can be used in our code for easy purposes. Then we start giving constraints to all of the components. Once we set all of our constraints, we run our application on the emulator. The Gradle is getting built and our application is getting launched on the device. The application is shown on the emulator and we are checking the constraints are all correct. We next start off with the main activity.java file where we write the code for the working of our application. The first line package com.example.random it is used to define the package of a Java class. Here our class is placed in the package named com.example.random. The next line imports necessary classes and packages, app compact activity from the AndroidX library, which is used as a base class for the activities. Then the next class, main activity, which extends app compact activity, means the main activity inherits behavior and attributes from the app compact activity, allowing it to function as an activity in an Android app. And the next is the onCreate method, which is the lifecycle method that's called when the activity is first created. We override it to perform initialization tasks. Super.onCreate saved instance state calls the superclass implementation of onCreate, and the next line set content view r.layout.activity main it sets the layout for the activity. Here the activity main.xml file is used as the set as the view, and then it inflates the layout defined in activity main.xml. Then we start off by writing the code for the functionality of our application. This line button btn is equal to button find view by id r.id.button. This line finds the button with the id button in the layout in the activity main.xml file and assigns it to the variable btn. The find view by id is used to return a generic view object. The next line, we set an onClick listener method for the button btn. When the button is clicked, the onClick method defined inside the listener will be executed. The next line finds the edit text with the id input in the layout and assigns it to the variable f. Here in the activity main.xml file, you can see the edit text widget which has the id called input, which is what we are using in the main activity.java file. Similarly, then we find the text view with the id result in the layout and assign it to the variable res using find view by id method. Here in the activity main.xml file, you can see the text view with the id result, which is used to display the result. Then we retrieve the text from the edit text field f, we convert it into a string, and then we parse it into an integer. This integer, it represents the upper limit of our random number range. And then we are creating a random class, a new instance of the random class, which we'll use to generate the random numbers. This function is inbuilt in Android Studio. Then you can click the Alt Enter button in order to directly import the necessary classes and packages. The next line, we generate a random integer between 0 and the specified range given by the user as the input. Given as the input by the user, we subtract 0 from the range to ensure that the random number is within the desired range. This is the code that we write to perform the specific function. Then finally, we set the text of the text view res to the generated random number. Then we add a space for beta formatting. This is the entire code of our application, the random number generator app. Then the application is run on any device on the emulator here particularly. Now let's try working with our application. We give an input 100 and then we generate, and you can see that the random numbers are getting generated and displayed in our application. Thus the random number generator application is being developed and deployed in Android Studio successfully. Thank you.